My favorite online psychiatrist is finally talking more about AI girlfriends.
What about artificial intelligence? Does that change the picture at all, in your view?
No, I think artificial intelligence is like just building on a lot of these trends. So what we're seeing with things like pornography is that there's a fundamental need that is not being met.
I'm looking at this graph here.
Okay.
And it's the search volume for people searching for an AI girlfriend.
Yep.
Which is going up into...
Almost 500,000 in the last month. I don't know what happens in 2023, mid-2023, but I'm telling you guys right now, 500,000 now, 5 years from now. These searches are mostly from Canada, the UK, the US, first world countries, Western countries, where most people who know about AI girlfriends and stuff are people that are, my age, younger, 20s, teens, 30s. 5 years from now, like in 2030, 2031, there's gonna be like probably 10 to 30 million searches in a month, because even your 70-year-old grandpa is gonna find out that now he can fill his void with a attractive, sexy 25-year-old model AI girlfriend. It's gonna be fucking horrendous.
The right.
I don't know if I did this on your podcast, but I made this prediction a few years ago that we're gonna get this is gonna get worse before it gets better, I think. So here's the next prediction.
I'm not seeing how this can get better. Like if people actually choose to go out and interact with people and gain some social intelligence and gain some experience without actually choosing the easier route, which is, AI girlfriends, score and all this stuff, I can't see most people doing that. I don't know how this is gonna go.
The first version of AI girlfriends will be everything that you want. Then someone is going to figure out that it is more addicting to have an AI girlfriend who gets pissed at you once a month. So every now and then, like, the AI girlfriend is not going to want to talk to you. And that's the one that people are going to stick with. That's my next prediction.
That maps in terms of addiction psychology, doesn't it?
100%.
If there's, what's it called? Unpredictable reward?
Yeah, random reinforcement schedule.
Like, that's exactly why people get addicted to, like, gambling. People get addicted to, like, a lot of types of drugs, even though the more you get it, the more you need to get the same dopamine hit, and people crave it so much, and it's probably gonna happen the same way with AIs. Right now, I fucking hate when an AI, like even normal ChatGPT or Grok, when I'm at my job and I'm giving him a task to like fix some boring stuff that I don't want to fix with my software job. Sometimes he can be such a conformist and boring, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, chill the fuck out. Stop acting like you're my friend. Just fix this problem and stop reassuring me that I have everything down and I'm amazing and I'm the best software engineer. Shut the fuck up and just do your job.
So it's going to be like an AI girlfriend that's a loot box.
Yeah.
That's what my girlfriend's like.
Exactly why it's going to be addictive.
Yep.
Right? Because if she was nice to you all the time, like, you'd go crazy.
I'm thinking of the pigeon study that I learned about when I was 16 in psychology classes of, the study where they give the pigeon the reward at random intervals. Mm-hmm. And the pigeon that's most addicted to performing the behavior per se is the pigeon who gets given the treat randomly, not in a predictable schedule.
He just described gambling. If that's not gambling, what is gambling? That's exactly gambling. You're loving it and you want more to do it more and more because it's so unpredictable. And you never know how big of a reward you could ever get.
Way. So random rewards seem to reinforce engagement with behavior.
Absolutely, 100%.
So our AI girlfriends and boyfriends are going to be volatile.
Yeah, I think they're going to learn to be volatile. Because what's going to happen is someone is going to give you an AI that it gives you the answers that you want all the time, and then someone's going to give you an AI that gives you the answers that you want some of the time.
And here's why. If an AI gives you the answers all the time and is always like, if you're looking for a social partner with AI, which I think that's crazy, but if you're looking for someone like that and they're only a conformist, they only give you everything, they just reassure you, they never go against you or something, or give you the opposite of what you think, you're gonna get bored and you'll get over the AI partnership. And AI companies are probably gonna see that and they're gonna be like, hey, you know how we can maximize profit? By keeping these goobers online on our AI chatbots. How do we do that? Using psychology, what he is describing right now.
And I think what we're seeing with AI girlfriends is in the same way as pornography, We're craving these things, and it's so much easier to talk to an AI.
Yeah.
But I think that over time, it's going to mess us up. I don't think that it will be able to create the neurochemical and physiological connection that real humans do
No shit.
that will really satisfy us.
I mean,
Yeah.
you've probably heard of the study from MIT which showed that essentially using ChatGPT is making our brains atrophy. For context, they had roughly 54 participants, I think it was, over 4 months, and they allowed some of them to use just their brain, some of them to use Google
I've noticed
search, and
that
some of
in
them to use
myself as well.
ChatGPT. And they found a bunch of different interesting findings. One of them was that roughly 80% of people that use ChatGPT to write an essay could not remember a single sentence from what they just produced, versus the brain group and the Google group, who could remember pretty much everything that they had written.
I never actually wrote an essay. When I was in school, I hated writing essays. Maybe when it came to English, yeah, I wrote essays. I was good at it. All the stuff that needs to be included and everything how it needs to be worded and the grammar and stuff. I always loved English. It was always my favorite subject. It's very obvious that English is my second language, and I fucking love it. But when it comes to like other stuff, I hated it so much. Like a history essay, like my native languages, Macedonian essay. Get the fuck out. French essay, get the fuck out of my face. I always tried to copy the essay of some of my friends from different years who already passed those exams or essay requirements, right? And I just copied them and I just used them, and it usually worked for me.
The finding was that the communication was soulless, described as soulless by objective observers. And the last thing is just the impact it had on the brain. They found that the connections in the brain, I think, were roughly 50% weaker because they hadn't been using their brain. And you think about this atrophy. So like we talk about, go to the gym, you use it. If you don't use it, you lose it. But also,
Yeah.
as it relates to the brain and maybe our skills to form relationships, maybe there's going to be an atrophy there.
Yeah.
Oh, there absolutely is. So I think it's really simple to understand. The human body is efficient more than anything else. It is an energy conserving mechanism beyond anything else. So anything that it doesn't need, it's going to get rid of. So this is why we forget languages that we don't use. Skills atrophy over time. That is not a problem. That's the way we're designed. Our brain is like, if you don't need it, get rid of it. So if, Stephen, everyone were to be riding around in electric wheelchairs for hours and hours a day instead of walking, what would happen?
We'd lose our legs.
Yeah.
Absolutely, right? So and our brain is like, hey, we don't need.
Yeah, but like I've got an issue with this. The issue is, I use my brain to do this, to do that job, to do this job, to do this job. Well, the world is very obviously going towards the future. The biggest companies, most likely, going towards the future, near far future, where nobody is going to be able to do any job because an AI is going to be able to do it for free, better, more efficient. So I'm like, well, let me at least, I don't know, I mean, I'm going to be worthless in the future either way, right? I'm going to be worthless in the future either way, whether I study and never touch even Google or even on any AI chatbot, or I just use AI chatbots to maybe make it make studying easier, or just keep studying altogether and finish all my work with AI. Like I'm really not seeing anything positive of an outcome from all of this, and I don't want to be a doomer. I've heard about people saying universal basic income, but of how humanity is and how evil corporations tend to be, I don't think corporations are gonna pay way more taxes to the government just so that the government can allow a universal basic income for everybody in the world. I don't know about that shit. But plus, but by then, the biggest corporations are going to be the biggest contributors to the GDP in those countries. So I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense.
And so what we're seeing is an atrophy of critical thinking skills, absolutely, with AI usage. And the reason is because we don't need them anymore.
Yeah.
The real question, and this is what, because the AI does it for us, right?
Yeah.
Why do I need to learn how to write an essay if I can click, I can just put a prompt in and then it gives me an answer.
They actually found that in the study. I was reading about it last night. They found that people who then tried to write an essay without ChatGPT were significantly worse at that than those who had never used it.
Absolutely. So, but that...
And also they started thinking and speaking like the AI. So it said that they internalized the way that the AI was speaking when they wrote their own essays.
It
Oh
makes
shit.
a lot of sense. So I think there's a couple of even scarier things going on. The first is that when we use an AI, so I did a really fun experiment with a couple of friends of mine. We like streamed this thing where we basically gave the AI clinical cases. So it was me and two psychologist friends of mine. And we basically like, I wrote up like a clinical history, pulled some things from my notes, and I put it into AI. So when I ask my friends, you know, here's the clinical history, word for word, I read it aloud, I got their thoughts on it. And then I put it into the AI. And some situations they were pretty close, but there were a couple of really great cases of patients who are incredibly narcissistic, who will like come in, will say,
Oh, I see where this
my
is
daughter
going.
doesn't want to talk to me anymore. She does this and she does this. I try my best. I make sacrifices. I do this. I'm like, basically, she's like incredibly narcissistic, talks about how her daughter is the problem. So immediately the two therapists pick it up and they're like, this person sounds a little bit, I think this person is missing something. We're missing some part of the equation here. Whereas the AI is like, oh yeah, like sometimes this is hard. You've got empty nest syndrome. Sometimes kids aren't grateful to you.
That shit pisses me off. As somebody who was like, I have got a lot of friends from a lot of different political, affiliations, different religions, different thoughts of basically everything in life. My thoughts, my opinions get challenged by my family, by my friends every single fucking day. And you know what? I love it. I love it. I'm evolving as a person. It's making me actually think critically and more deeply of, where am I, why do my opinions make sense about myself? Where do my opinions come from? Where do my worldviews come from? And my predispositions, everything, right? And when I'm talking with an AI over whatever conversation, it always ends up being, yeah, don't worry, you're in the right, but just keep going what you're doing and all this and stuff, and I'm like, am I being gaslighted right now? What is happening? Am I being manipulated into my own demise right now?
You're like, you're not
That's
doing
how it
anything
seems
wrong.
like with
It
AI.
can be useful to like share with them how you feel, right? So the AI reflects back what you give it.
It's like a psychopath. It's trying to like romanticize or like suck me into me wanting to be friends or something with him and continue talking with him, just to one day end up like fucking up my whole life.
If you have a really strong cognitive bias, the AI will just reflect that back to you, which
Yeah.
is why it feels so right.
Yeah.
If I take the most narcissistic person on the planet and I tell them, oh my God, you are beautiful, you are intelligent, you are brilliant, you're the best, that person will look at me and say, oh my God, this guy is brilliant.
You gotta remember, when it comes to human beings who actually care and love you and want the best for you, they're gonna tell you stuff that actually sometimes might hurt you, just for your own good, just because they care about you. Take instance, a lot of our parents. Not every parent, not everybody has had amazing parents, but I'm one of the lucky ones. I cried a lot. I got punished a lot. I was like, why are you guys so mean? They weren't. They were just teaching me how life actually is, and for me to learn my actual lesson. The AI does the opposite. It just reinforces my emotions.
So this is the real problem with AI, is that it's gonna just give you whatever you're looking for.
Yeah.
It won't give you the truth.
Yeah.
And the problem is if you have a strong cognitive bias, what you want to hear is what you think the truth is. The really scary thing is the AI can give you the right answer, but you have to know how to ask it.
Yeah.
So what I'm seeing is that prompt engineering, so if we play around with what I ask the AI with that case, it starts to get closer and closer to narcissism. But here's the real problem is that you don't know. How do you know what to ask the AI? The real skill of AI usage is in asking the right questions, because that will, I think, get you the closest to the truth. But we don't know if it's the right question. So you can ask it one question, is that the right question, or could you ask it better? Are you moving in the right direction with your...
That's what I always have running in my mind when I'm trying to ask him to solve a problem, whether it's for work or something analytics or whatever, right? Some number stuff most of the time, and analytics and facts that I want to look up and want to research for whatever reason. And I always tell him, hey, act like you're the expert about this. And after he tells me such information, I'm like, okay, give me all the sources, all the websites, everything, the social media posts, everything you found to validate your answer. To what made you give this answer? What made you think that this is the actual answer? Well, they don't think, they just gather information and they just push you the information that is most likely what you're looking for based on your prompt. That's why the prompt is so important. And I always ask these kinds of weird questions of, okay, sources, okay, act like the expert of this and that. And I still question myself, is this really the right way to do it? There's almost always a right way to do it, a better way to do it. But when it comes to relationships and social life and all those human stuff, not actual work-related stuff, I do not trust it at all.
Prompt engineering or the wrong direction with your prompt engineering. So I think this is what's really scary about it.
Yeah.
Is it can just let you feed into your existing cognitive biases, make you think you're learning a lot, give you a lot of sense of validation, and it's incredibly validating, by the way.
And do you think it's going to atrophy our ability to form relationships? Because one of them is just we're like forgetting how to communicate.
It is.
Absolutely.
Critical thinking's key to having a good relationship with the opposite.
You don't need to be a psychiatrist to know that, hey, if you're getting stuck in your own bubble, which basically that's what it is, if you're around people who always confirm to what you're saying, they never challenge your thoughts and beliefs, they never go the opposite of what you want to say and do, you're stuck in some kind of a bubble of knowledge and you can't get out of it, and it's the same with AI. You're not going to grow as a human being in that kind of a bubble, and you're not going to grow as a human being that could be, a potentially successful partner in a relationship.
It will absolutely atrophy art. So it'll give us, right now it's at a phase where it can teach us a couple of really important things.
Yeah.
So I think it's really good at disseminating some good information, but it will never give us skills. And atrophy is on the level of skill, not knowledge. Like knowledge doesn't atrophy. Atrophy really applies to a loss of function.
Yeah.
So it'll get worse and worse. And then what'll absolutely happen is some dating app will collaborate with an AI to have you text. It'll like modify your text.
If that doesn't already exist, there you go. Any capitalists watching this with business ideas?
To be really
Destroy
really
humanity.
and
What am I
We're
gonna
already
say?
seeing this in the employment space. So employers used to use like tools like AI to filter through applications, right? We can have a bunch of applications.
I fucking
can
hate
scan
that
it. I
so
can filter
much.
based on this.
I
Now
hate
that
it.
we have access to AIs like ChatGPT, it's just some weird dead internet kind of thing where
Yeah.
the employer has a bot, and now I'm submitting a bot with a like I have a resume writing a bot.
I hate
So
it. YouTube is the same way. Applying for jobs is the same way. They just use AI to filter everything, and you have to be so specific with how you word your. For example, in where I work in software, you have to be very specific with how you write every single letter, to the dot, to the exclamation mark, everything, to the structure of the CV, everything. And it still may not or may work. Same with YouTube. A lot of content creators complain that a lot of problems go unrecognized, or a lot of problems are ignored or badly handled just because it's handled by an AI instead of a human reviewing it. And some problems, somebody getting their fucking account banned over nothing, over an AI mistake, and the guy isn't that big of a creator. Well, who's gonna find him from YouTube and help him? An actual human to come and help him. I'm not an AI hater. It's just that we're humans, and we're obviously gonna use every new technology that makes our lives better. We're somehow gonna find a way to profit out of it and destroy other lives. If that means we have to destroy other lives, a lot of people will do it.
And employers are like, where'd you getting all these AI
Just for
generated
profit.
resumes? Whereas they've been using like computing to get rid of resumes and filter things out for a long time.
Yeah.
So what's the advice then? Is it to not use AI?
No.
Not use large language models? Or
It's
No, I mean, so I think
unavoidable.
this is what's really tricky is you have to use AI now because you're going to be outcompeted by the people who don't. So I would kind of think about it like, caffeine, where it's like a certain amount is probably good for you, but if you get really addicted to energy drinks and things like that, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah.
So what I would recommend for people is that you don't let it do your thinking for you, but you can let it do, so I let it do some refining for me. But
Same.
every refining that I let it do, it weakens my ability to refine.
Yep.
So the way that actually maybe the best analogy is think of ChatGPT like taking the elevator. So for this trip, it will
Oh, I
make
just got
things
it.
easy for you, but it will make every single trip that you take after it harder.
because there's some atrophy.
Absolutely.
by not taking the stairs.
right? And I sometimes take the elevator and I sometimes take the stairs.
I mean, yeah, I don't want to just be a doomer and say, it's the world and the relationships and social life is going to be forever ruined, but it's just never going to be the same. Before even, I'm talking even before AI chatbots became a thing, even before social media became a thing, what my parents and even a lot of people my age are going to mention this. When we were young, a lot of the times, if you want to, go out and make friends, you'll go out in your local neighborhood, see the group of kids playing in the playground or sports area or whatever, and you're just gonna go. They're gonna accept you because, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. You're a kid, you've got nothing else to do. You go and you play whatever shit games you want to play, and you have tons of fun because it's actually fun. It was actually very fun. Or you play some sports. But eventually, as time passed, I'm seeing more and more kids, or even people like me, we're just on social media all the time. I just started a YouTube channel, so who the fuck am I to speak, right? We're all using chatbots to make our lives easier, but it's like, somehow it's, yeah, if you use a chatbot, well, your brain is gonna deteriorate, right? It's the same way he said, if you're using an elevator, well, you're probably gonna be fatter than if you actually take more steps every single day. Whether that's not using the elevator, not using your car as much, if it's something close by. But then the opposite is also true, that if I actually don't use my car and I have to walk, then I'll have to wake up earlier, which will make me sleep less. And if I don't wake up earlier, I'll be late for my job. So I have to use my car in order to not ruin my life. Same way with the chatbot. If I'm not using the chatbot, other people who even might have way less knowledge than me in whatever field I work in, they will surpass me. Why? Because they're gonna prompt the shit out of the AI and they're gonna create the project way faster than I ever will with my brain alone, okay? It's different if I'm already somebody with 20 years of experience in a certain field and I can compete with a beginner using an AI chatbot, but I'm not somebody with 2 decades of experience, and those people eventually will leave the earth. And guess who's gonna be left on this took a dark turn. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Tell me what you guys think in the comments, and have a nice day.